Yeah, you know who it is. If you don't, it's your boy Shake. So shout out to the Shake Squad, Noti Gang stand up. You know who it is. You know it's your boy Shake, and welcome to another episode of NBA 2K24 news. Today we're going to be discussing the 3 and D of 2K24. That's dribbling, dunking, and defense. So as always, it's time to kick those actual factuals to you, grab a cold drink, and let's dive into this. So beginning with dribbling, let's revisit what we already learned in the first courtside report about adrenaline boost. On offense, boosts are no longer lost when pulling off dribble combos or moving short distances, giving elite ball handlers much more freedom to create off the bounce. But boosts will disappear every time the on-ball defender can bump the ball handler on a drive attempt. So I wanted to make sure we had that point clear. You will not lose adrenaline boosts if you're just dribbling, unless the defender gets a bump on you. Now I ran up against a lot of you lockdowns that like to crowd the ball handler in the backcourt, but dribblers are in luck. Good question from Crypto Pat. Yo Mike, are adrenaline boosts still not gonna be affected until after you pass half court? Or could someone full court press me and I lose them in the backcourt? And just like in 2K23, Mike Wang says, you still won't lose adrenaline in the backcourt. That still doesn't mean you locks are not gonna force a lot of turnovers. You guys bumping in the backcourt is gonna cause a lot of panic passing, which is gonna lead to a lot of steals. Question in from B. What are some things we should look out for as far as dribbling goes, Mike? And Mike says try out different breakdown combos. Signature double crosses are equipable now. Standing snatchbacks has changed and is now tied to the signature step back package. Definitely learn how to use the blowout properly. Branching is generally way more responsive in 2K24. Every year, Mike Wang changes the dribbles. It's not difficult. We're gonna get into the lab, but it changes every year. I look forward to it. It is a challenge, but I'm happy to know that there's a lot more improvements, maybe some things to look forward to. It's still gonna be fun dribbling the ball this year. Mike with a message to the community. Another cool 2K24 new gen addition for my players. You can equip triple threat and dribble emotes this year and fire them off with the D-pad down. I know some haters out there ain't gonna think this is a big deal, but I've been asking for this for years. I grew up watching N1 basketball, watching the professor and Hot Sauce break somebody off and literally dance in front of them after they broke their ankles before they take the shot. I just hope 2K messes up in season 1 and lets some of those animations slip into the rec center and team pro-am to start the year off. Hey, they did it in 2K19. That would be a welcomed glitch. And then we got a great question in from Be Unguardable. What's the sweet spot in your opinion on ball handle and speed with ball? What ratings will unlock the top tier animations? And Mike says, I really like Steph and Trey's moves, so I usually go to 92. The highest unlock is Steve Francis' signature size up at 95. I expect that to be a going theme this year where they're gonna lock a few of the better animations at a higher attribute rating. And if you already know that's Steve Francis, you definitely gotta try that out. Now on to dunking, Mike puts out a good message. For both the layup and dunk meters, if you have a pretty open lane, the green window is much bigger in 2K24, but it shrinks fast the heavier the traffic. On Hall of Fame and competitive online, you have to green the dunks to make them. So yeah, you gotta green your dunks too. So if you try to posterize me, make sure you got your stick skills down. Question from TC, are alley-oops still metered? And Mike says yes, it's not hard though. You know what's interesting? There's always that one guy you run into that can't catch lobs. He might give you that BS excuse saying there's a delay, but he has no problem timing his jump shot. You know who you are, and if you're on my friends list, stop missing my lobs. Question in from CJ. When you say dunks are green or miss, does that include lobs? Mike says no. Finishing alleys works almost identically to 2K23. Yeah, you ain't got no excuses. Stop messing up my highlights. Another great question in from Flames. With the contact dunks, is there another option in the settings to just use the shot button for the contact dunks instead of up down or down up? And Mike responds, you can still get a contact dunk with the shot button, but it's just a dice roll chance based on ratings. The frequency goes down significantly on Hall of Fame and in the rec or park though. So basically the chances of you catching a no meter posterizer is slimmer, which is a good thing because if you have to time your jump shot and get a green release for those to go in, I think it's just as important for you to have to green your posterizers. At the end of the day, you'll look a lot sillier getting stepped over after a poster than someone does if they just someone greens a shot in front of them. So yeah, you should definitely have to green your posterizers, especially if you have a high dunk rating and you're in takeover. That green meter is like half the bar. You shouldn't be missing those. What's the difference between up-down contact dunks and down-up contact dunks? And Mike says there's no difference, just a preference thing. That's good to know because that is a change. In 23, up-down got you the skill dunk with the meter, and down-up got you like a one-hand flashy dunk. Question from Dexmaster. Are Euro dunks and hop dunks still in the game? And Mike says yes. Just make the hop a little faster. That's all I ask. Most people are telling you right now that 2K20 was their favorite game. There might be a reason for that. Question in from Shot Sender T. So you have to time layups no matter what? And Mike says you can turn layup timing off if you want, but my advice is to play with it on first. If you get good at it, you'll finish around the rim better with it on. I'd only really turn it on if you're somebody who plans on doing a lot of layups. Last year, I just leaned on Acrobat and Giant Slayer, and I was doing all kinds of crazy layups. Remember all them 360 layups I was doing? And most of the time when I consciously go for a layup, I'm usually wide open. And last on dunking, Mike says, since no one asked, you can also meter dunk standing dunks in 2K24. But it's really hard to pull off at the moment. It's a work in progress. I've got a lot of friends that will love that feature if they can iron out the kinks. Forcing a standing dunk posterizer, there's some really good animations in the game too. Now enough about offense, let's get into defense. Question from the community, is there any changes to the shot contest system? Mike says the contest system changed a lot. Greater emphasis on body position instead of just hand location. That's a big reason for the ghost contest complaints last year. Heavier penalties for being crowded at the start of the shot, less for out of position late closeouts. I just wonder if Needle Threader works the same way as it did last year because Season 1, everyone was getting stunned in the paint when they were off their man and couldn't run back out to put a hand up. That was a lot of fun at first. Great question from the community. Hearing about all this offense stuff, but what about the defense? What would be considered a bump enough for the offensive player to lose in adrenaline? Riding their hip, bumping them off course, or a full body up? And Mike answers, any body up that's not considered a blow-by win for the ball handler. So yeah, if that defender's playing really good defense and he bumps you properly, you're gonna lose an adrenaline bar. I just wanna know what kind of percentages you lose, if any, on offense when you get bumped. Because right here, Mike says, steal and block attempts will consume adrenaline bars on defense. First bar gone equals a 20% block steal rating nerf. Second bar's gone equals a 40% nerf. Third bar gone equals a 75% nerf. And Sweet Life asks, so if I go to block a shot by the power forward, that uses 1 bar? But if he passes to the shooting guard and I attempt the block, that's bar 2? And Mike says, yeah, per possession. As long as you're not spamming the square button trying to reach and steal on every possession, you should be fine. And also, when I typically close out on shooters, I usually use the right stick. Only time you're gonna leap out on a shooter is if you're caught out of position. And the same thing goes for centers. I got some center friends who can't keep their feet planted on the ground and they keep jumping up and down all over the place. Losing some adrenaline and getting dunked on is gonna teach them a lesson quick. A question from Huncho. Has there been a buff in paint defense? I'm tired of being put on a poster when I'm in good position for a swat, respectfully. And Mike says that paint defense was a major focus and was reported as the biggest gameplay improvement from our external playtest sessions. I think we have a really good balance right now. Just don't get caught out of position. And if you make a shooting center and your defensive abilities are not that high, don't expect to always be able to dominate in the paint defensively. I got boys who play the 5 and they love sitting corner, knocking down threes, and completely trash on defense at times. Most likely it's because their interior defense block rating just isn't as high as they think it should be. Mike lets the community know that ball saves are solid. I thought they were good in 2K23 too. Blocks got a buff in 2K24, but not to the 2K22 levels. So that's really great to hear that blocks and paint defense has been buffed, but not to a ridiculous level. And finally, Mike had one more thing to say about defense. We're having some internal debate on how much losing adrenaline should penalize you on defense. Concerns are the numbers below are too harsh. 5%, then 10% for the first 2 bars are suggested. What are your thoughts? So yeah, what are your thoughts? Let me know in the comment section below. What are your thoughts on dribbling? Recently I saw a clip in from Joey2K YouTube on Twitter. He showcased the difference between Paul George's dribble in 2K23 and how you can see a break in the animations and how smooth it looks with Pro Play in 2K24. Notice how the animations look seamless, like it's all in one motion. I'm expecting to see a lot of this in 2K24. Maybe Pro Play really is the wave. Anyway, I'm excited about it. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. As always, smack that like and subscribe. Keep it locked for more news, and I'll see you guys in the next one.